name's Harrell, and I'm a senior escalations engineer here at SignalWire. Today, I'm going to be doing a technical demonstration and walkthrough using our AI agent to show off what I've called a SurveyBot. And what SurveyBot aims to do is dynamically get questions from a database, ask those to a user, and then store the answers for later analysis um, and retrieval. So this could be very helpful in things like political polling, where you're trying to figure out uh, the stance of people regarding politician A or politician B, or maybe it's the difference between issue one and issue two, something like that. It could be helpful for any kind of questionnaire, things like medical intake, where you might want to ask um, a patient whether or not they have any symptoms or they have any allergies, things like that. Anything that you'd want to program questions to ask to a user, you could do that here and then get their answer and then store it in a database, as opposed to having them have to fill out a form or have a person do this or so on and so forth. Um, so let's go ahead and get started. Again, this is going to be a technical demonstration. So I'm going to go ahead and just basically walk right through uh, this blog that I've put out, which covers the same topic. You can find it on signalwire.com/blogs, and just look for SurveyBot and you'll have everything here. So we're going to go ahead and clone this Git repo, which has all the code and everything necessary to actually run this example. We're going to clone here and jump in. You may notice that I'm using a Mac here. This will work pretty much one-to-one on Linux. Windows may be a little bit different, just based on the commands being command prompts versus bash. But the main code itself being Python in a virtual Python environment, everything should work pretty seamlessly, as long as you kind of translate the commands to get there. So I'm going to jump in here. There's 4 main files here. The README, which is just the tutorial. Main.py, which has all the main code for the application. We're essentially just going to be running a web server that you can post to, and it will give some information back. And that'll be the driving force behind what's controlling the AI agent using webhooks. Requirements.txt has all the required modules that we're going to need for running the application. And then survey.db is the database schema that I've provided for this particular example. The first thing that I suggest doing, besides checking out the repo, is setting up your ngrok tunnel, so that we can actually hit the script when it's running. And the thing here that we'll need to do is make sure that once we start it, or there's actually a piece of information that once we start it, we'll actually need to paste it into our code here. So it's best to just get it done now. So we're going to go ahead and start our tunnel. And then we're going to take note of this particular URL here. This is the URL that is going to allow us to go from the outside out on the internet and then hit my local host, which is obviously not on the internet. And this is great for testing purposes. If you have something else that allows you to hit from the internet, some kind of other web server, you're more than welcome to do that. This is just how I'm able to set up these demos. So I'm going to edit main.py and need to replace this webhook URL here. So we're looking for Swimmel webhook base URL, and we're just going to paste in that URL right from that we got from ngrok. The example will not work if you do not paste that in there, so it's very, very important that step not get missed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create or set up our Python virtual environment. This is going to allow us to install all the modules that we need and not have to touch the system Python and disrupt anything that may already be going on with other applications or Python scripts that you might already have. So we're going to run a command python 3 -m venv for virtual environment, and we're just going to call it SurveyBot, and we're good to go. And then we're going to activate that virtual environment by using the command source SurveyBot bin activate. And then this here shows that we are now in the virtual environment called SurveyBot, which is exactly what we want. And then our last little piece of setup here that we're going to do as far as from the Python environment goes is that we're going to pip install -r the requirements that I mentioned before. This installs all the modules that we need to actually run the application itself, which is not very many. And there it is. It's basically just installing Flask, and that's about it. Flask being the web server application that is being run here. The next thing to do to get this set up, as I mentioned before, that I provided a database schema. So what we're going to do is jump into the database schema, and I'm actually going to do that down here so that I can keep, I can show the database on one terminal, and then I can do everything else on another terminal. You can feel free to not, you don't have to worry about splitting the terminals if you don't want to for this. Just kind of an easy way to show both command lines at the same time. So I'm going to SQLite 3 survey.db, and this gets me into the database. I'm going to turn on headers and make the output look a little bit nicer. And then in the blog itself, I've provided the insert statements for 3 separate questions that I'm going to have my SurveyBot ask me. Feel free to ask whatever questions you want or change this to anything that you want, but I'm just going to copy and paste exactly what I've already put there. So what is your favorite color? What is your favorite snack? And what is your favorite season? And I can go ahead and do something like .tables, which will show me the tables that exist in this database. And we can see survey answers, survey questions, and user. The user table is going to be what is created when I actually call in. It's going to ask me some basic information about me, like what's my name and what's my age. It's going to write down my phone number. It's going to put that into the user database so that it knows what my personal answers are. And then it's going to use that record to link the survey questions and survey answers together. And it will ask me questions from survey questions. So I can do something like select star from survey questions. And you can see right now that there's 3 questions in the survey. And then survey answers is going to be the answers that I've given as a user. So currently, if I go to survey answers or select star from survey answers, there's no records in that particular table, but there will be eventually. Also, I can show select star from user, and there's nothing there. So at this point, we are almost ready to go. What we can do is, or the last thing that we have to do is actually get our SignalWire phone number to reach this particular web application. So I'm going to jump back over to Chrome here. I'm going to go to my phone numbers in my SignalWire space. I'm going to click on the number that I have here, edit. I'm going to handle using a SWML script because I'm using SWML for this, or it's going to return SWML, and then paste in that same URL and hit save. And now we're essentially ready to go. All we have to do is run the script. Uh, main.py, and we're ready to go. No errors, so that's good. And then I'm going to call that number, and I'm going to walk through the SurveyBot as he's giving me the survey. So you'll be able to see that the SurveyBot's going to grab these questions from the database, and then I'm going to give it an answer, and it's going to push the answers back into the database. We'll be able to look at it after and see that it's all linked to my user, and basically show off exactly what kind of power we could do by doing this dynamically. Um, right.
Hello, I'm SurveyBot, and I'll be assisting you with a survey today. Let's get started. First, I need some information from you. May I please have your first name?
Shane.
Thank you for providing your first name, Shane. Now, may I please have your last name?
Harrell.
Thank you for providing your last name, Harrell. Now, could you please tell me your age in years?
19.
Thank you for providing your age. Shane, I have created a record for you in our database. Now, let's move on to the survey questions. The first question is, what is your favorite color? Please provide your answer.
My favorite color is blue.
Thank you for sharing your favorite color. Shane, I have recorded your answer. Now, on to the next question. What is your favorite snack? Please let me know your answer.
My favorite snack is chips.
Thank you for sharing your favorite snack. Shane, I have recorded your answer. Now, on to the next question. What is your favorite season? Please let me know your answer.
Spring.
Thank you for sharing your favorite season. Shane, I have recorded your answer. That concludes the survey. Thank you for your participation. Goodbye.
Okay, so call is ended, and I'm going to point out a few things here. You can see that each time that I give an answer, the survey says, "Okay, cool, it's been recorded," and then it also starts and tells it the, the the command tells the AI what is the next question, and he uh, goes and asks that question, and it's kind of that back and forth that goes on during the entire survey until all the questions have been asked, and then it says there's no more questions, and then just hangs up the call. So to kind of quickly reiterate what happened, I called in. It realized that I was not a user that had ever called before, so it needed to create a new user, and by that, it asked me what my first name was, last name, and age. Created a user, which I showed off here, and then it started asking me questions. Um, what is your favorite color, snack, season, and recording them each one by one. Um, you may be wondering, what is the reason that doing it this method would be any better than just going into your prompt for the survey and ask the user what's their favorite color, what's their favorite snack, what's their favorite season, what's their favorite football team, things like that. And the reason is, as you start to ask more and more questions or add more and more words to the prompt, you're making it less and less efficient by having to worry about all those things that are in the prompt. And you're adding more words to it, and probably more or less confusing the model, and straying further and further away from what you actually are looking to accomplish by having so many words in the prompt. This way, we have one static prompt that is, let's say, 25 to 30 lines. You can see here I'm scrolling up and down, kind of showing uh, what the prompt is, and it's essentially just your name is SurveyBot. Your job is to survey the caller with questions from a database, um, and essentially says ask the first name, ask the last name, and then use a function to go to the database and grab the next record. Uh, and this allows it to be much more efficient. It allows my survey to be dynamic. By I can go ahead and just start adding as many questions or removing as many questions as I want from the database. Um, my answers are kept with the questions in the database, so I have those. Um, and maybe the biggest reason of why this is beneficial is that it's overall cheaper, by not uh, putting huge blocks of text through the language model every single time that you're running this. You're saving money by just having it act more efficiently and having one question go to the model at a time as opposed to an entire prompt every time as it's going through each question. So anyway, that is SurveyBot, and I hope that uh, this little demonstration has been helpful. Hope it's been useful. And if you have any questions, you can find me at shane.harrell@signalwire.com. And feel free to use this and have fun.